Hello and welcome to another episode of the Stubborn Heroes, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast. My name is Adam and I am the Dungeon Master, and the Stubborn Heroes we have today are Parker, who plays normally Tyrannus.
Hello.
And Billy, who plays Benjamin Grimshaw.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey there.
Oh, hey there. Hi. How are you doing?
Oh, you know.
Oh, yeah, don't you know? That's not even Ben's accent. So, today is a little bit of a different episode, as we will be doing... Actually, it's not that different, because you've already heard two of them. That's right. This is another origin story. You're surprised. You probably thought it was going to be Belgarath's origin story, but we actually didn't have time last time, so now we're re-recording, and we're actually just going to record Billy's instead.
Cody doesn't get an origin story.
Cody's probably sleeping again.
Probably.
He doesn't listen to the show anyway, so you can say whatever the fuck you want. He had no idea.
Yeah, it's true. Honestly. Say whatever you want about him. Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to be that guy.
I'll fucking put it in. Anything. I'll put it in. I'm not going to add anything.
Ugh.
All right, so we begin. Ben, the Festival of Monsters, as you know, you've all been traveling with them for about 2 weeks. During that time, we've heard about what some of the other guys have been doing through the last two origin stories, what they've been doing in their spare time, also reminiscing about their past, but you were not present during that because Ben has been busy, hasn't he?
Yes,
He's been busy in his tent and in his little makeshift lab, and he's not masturbating. No,
he's not a scander.
No. He is instead, what has Ben been up to during this time, during his free time?
Well, he's been up to a lot. Yeah, I've branched away from gunslinger temporarily and gone a little bit deeper into artificer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, picked up a few little knickknacks and gadgets that are going to help me out, such as maybe a turret or so. But you might hear about that a little bit later. I don't want to spoil too much for you.
Yeah. So one night after eating at the camp, it's nighttime. There's sort of a celebration going on, and you see everybody is singing. Some people are playing music. There's a somehow they have a giant piano there, and somebody's playing some sort of music on that piano. It sounds like what's it? Billy, tell me the first country song that sticks into your head. Go.
Achy Breaky Heart is the first thing that comes to mind because I fucking hate country songs, and that's the biggest reason why.
So do I. I hate country, and I'm gonna hate doing this.
So there's a guy out there on the piano, and he's actually playing "Achy Breaky Heart" on the piano, and everybody is all they're singing back and forth, and there's a celebration going on.
Achy Breaky Heart. Fucking Billy Ray Cyrus, go fuck yourself. If you're listening to this, go fuck yourself. Seriously.
Yeah, I don't think he's listening to us.
Just on the off chance. On the off chance he ever hears this.
Can you imagine? He's like, I was just about to donate $5 million to them.
Don't want it. Go fuck yourself.
Anyways, and
maybe one of the stubs will send that message for me to him.
And Ben, you're just drinking. You're just drinking whiskey. You're looking out to the fire and you're looking out to celebrations, sort of reminiscing and remembering a time gone by when Tyrannus happens to walk past.
Hey there, Ben. What are you up to?
Oh, not much, man. I'm gonna call it early night tonight, I think. Do some tinkering.
Well, I don't want to interrupt anything. If you're busy, then, you don't want to be involved with us, I guess.
Yeah, it's not a good night. I got a lot to do.
Okay, well, if you're thirsty, Belgarath's working on, he's gonna milk something, but I don't to be honest, I don't know what's going on, but he's preparing some sort of concoction. I promised I would try it out, so...
You're a braver man than I'll tell you that.
I don't know why I do these things, honestly. Anyways, sorry to disturb you.
Have a good night now. And I guess we'll part ways and Ben will go jerk off go to tinker in his tent.
Yep. So, Ben, you go into your tent. The music and merriment is foregone for you now as you're in the dimly lit sanctuary that is your small little tent, which is more of a workshop that you just sort of are able to retract and set up again each night as the festival stops and camps.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is knowing what might happen or what I'm intending to do, I'm going to try and create some kind of like a barnacle or bracer that will chain me in place.
Yep.
When something bad happens that I'm not.
Yeah. So you're gonna make 2 subsequent rolls with you tinkering checks, which are dex based, with your tinkerer's tools.
Oh, there we go. I can. That's cool. I didn't know you could do that. 25.
Okay. So the first manacle, you make it. The quality is a 15. You don't know
The first roll was just a dex check. The second one was
Oh, I see. Okay.
an actual.
Okay, so that's your first one. Okay. So 25. Okay, so you make you finish up because you've been working on these for a few weeks. You can't just make them within minutes. So and you just sort of lay out the metal plating there. You have a little like God, what's that tool that you use on wires and it smokes, it like burns the wires and stuff to melt them.
Like a welding kit? Welding
Yeah,
kit?
yeah. So you just sort of zap and work on this one manacle, and you lay down the metal plating very carefully, and it just sort of brightens and lights up with the Magitech inside of it. Okay, now roll another one as you work on the other manacle.
Yeah, every time you just have to select, like you go into it and it says select ability, proficiency, and things like that, and you have to do it every time. It's kind of cool, but you just have to select dexterity, but it doesn't. Ooh, 9.
Okay, so you sort of use your tools. You're at your workshop. It's just sort of buzzing and lighting and illuminating on your goggles, and then and then it just sort of crackles and shifts, and some of the metals shift and move, and then you lay down the metal plating, and that one is done as well, with a quality of 9. Not that you know, but okay. And what do you do with these manacles?
Basically, I want it set up so that they can detect the full moon or the presence of the full moon, and just that's when they would activate.
Yeah, and that would be why they're lighting up now, because currently tonight is a full moon. And tonight's the night that you've been waiting for. So, knowing that the moon is shining down, you just sort of open up your tent and look up at it, the full moon laying upon you, and you look to your workshop table where you see that syringe of the concoction that you've been working on. And within this glowing, within this liquidy, thick, viscous concoction, you see suddenly small little specks from the moon dust that you gathered start glowing inside of it. And you know that if you're going to do it, tonight is the night.
Alright. So, I'll attach the barnacles to both my wrists.
Yeah, you do so.
And I will walk over to the syringe, grab it with my metallic hand, and I'll just say, "The power of my enemy." worth a shot, and I'll inject it into my arm.
And you're about to inject it when suddenly you start to shake, and your metal hands start just hold still, and you're unable to do it.
This time it keeps ticking.
As your heart starts to race, and you can feel your heart pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Nervousness, fear, regret starts taking over you, and
I can sell
you
a
drop the
broken
syringe.
heart, but I can't sell my soul. No, I can't sell my soul.
You just sort of fall back and you just sit on your bed and you just start breathing heavily. You're having a panic attack. He didn't expect this. Fear isn't something that he's had for a very long time, but for some reason something here is triggering him.
Well, it would be the fear of turning into a monster kind of thing. Like what if I can't actually control this? Is this the right call? Like, can I do this? Like,
Yeah.
that kind of battle with morality.
Yeah. And you look down on the ground. The syringe did not shatter or break. You have it in a metal casing, but it is there just laying on the ground. And as you lay on the bed, you then look down at your stomach, and you would see the horrific scars that are in the shape of claw marks, just completely taking up most of your stomach and chest. And that is when you would become lost in memory. As you remember a time gone by. Diddle-oo, 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 diddle-oo.
Fucking Wayne's World flashback.
We open to a country road. You see the vastness of the Wendigo Wilderness in the distance. Pine and cedar trees as far as the eye can see, moving up and down the roaring hills. This country road that we sort of zoom in on, laying there, seemingly dead upon the ground, in what looks like a bloody mess, is a younger, more fleshy Benjamin Grimshaw. You don't have your metal appendages at this point. You don't have your holstered guns. You don't have your large trench coat. You're just wearing simple clothes with suspenders, and the one thing you still do have is your cowboy hat. And you're just laying face down in the dirt, and there's blood absolutely everywhere. And a vulture just sort of lands down next to you and then pecks at your clothing before flying away as the turning and churning of wheels from a carriage moving up the road is heard. The carriage is moving fast, pulled by 4 horses that then come to a slow, steady stop before they could run over you. Hold, hold. Upon this carriage are 2 stormglaives holding the reins of the horses, while behind them is a metal caged box that is full of what looks like probably about a dozen prisoners. These stormglaives were headed south towards Stormtalon to bring these prisoners to justice when they happen upon this corpse in the middle of the road. Parker, I'm going to ask that you play one of these stormglaives. And be, hold, boy. What the fuck is that there? He looks down. What does that look like to you?
Looks like we... Wait, hold on. What accent am I doing here? Looks like we got some vulture food down there.
I know, you bloody idiot. What the fuck is it doing in the middle of the road? Well, come on, it ain't gonna move itself.
What, you want me to move it?
Yes, I want you to move it. Come on! We gotta get these prisoners to Storm Talon by the morning.
All right then, all you had to do was ask nicely. All right. And he's gonna climb down off the carriage and go over to the corpse and kind of, he's gonna look for where the legs are amidst the bloody mess and try and drag it off to the side of the road, I guess.
Yeah, you walk up to the corpse and we'll let this guy roll a investigation check.
11.
As you slowly start to walk up, you notice that you smell something. It smells like cherries, crushed cherries. And you just sort of stop for a moment, but then you just continue to proceed because you can't put two and two together. So, and you see the legs. Yep. Well, come on then. What's taking so long?
All right. I'm doing it. Don't worry. And I'm gonna lean over, grab the legs.
Yep.
Start dragging him off to the side of the road.
He's not very stiff. He must not be dead for very long. And you just start dragging.
So similar to my arm blade, I'll have like a hidden blade that kind of springs out, but it's not going to be obviously coming out of my arm. It's just going to be an attachment on my arm. So I'll pop out the hidden blade there and hold it to his throat and say, "I suggest you put me down there, friend."
And he's gonna drop the legs and go, "We got a live one here."
And you see the commander on the carriage just sort of take out his sword, and he's just like, "By the Tempest!" And he starts trying to grab it when suddenly an arrow flies out of the forest and stabs him in the arm. He's like, "Oh!" As suddenly about a dozen men and women start to slowly walk out of the forest holding crossbows and swords, and as they surround this carriage, and the commander's just looking around. And he looks forward at you, Ben. What's the meaning of this? You dare try to rob an emissary of the king?
So I'll kind of disarm the one that's around me, and I'll kind of push him to one of the gang members.
Yeah, he pushes you.
Don't hurt me.
There. And I'll just walk up to the carriage. Like, "You got something I need there, friend." And I'll just go back and see where exactly.
And he's like, "Don't you dare. What's your plan, huh? You kill us, you'll have the whole kingdom after you." Oh.
I don't need to kill you.
What?
That's up to you, really.
And he just the commander sort of narrows his eyes. "I recognize you. Yes, you. You lot. You are those reapers we've been hearing about, aren't you?"
Damn. Our reputation does seem to precede us.
Well, when I get out of here, I will go to Storm Talon, and I will bring 100 Stormglaives north to hunt you down. As two of your fellow companions, name them, Billy. What two would walk up and sort of disarm and just sort of tie up the commander?
I'll say JD, nickname for John Daniels.
Yeah, little J.
And Jackie, for aka Jack Dawson.
Yeah, when you see JD and Jack just sort of climb up on top. They're like, "That's enough out of you, Commander." And he's like, "Excuse me." And they stick a cloth into his mouth and then tie a rope around as well and tie him up. JD looks down at you. "Hey, Grim, what should we do with this guy?"
Well, tie him up, put him along the side. If he's giving you too much of a hassle, feel free to kill him, but try not to.
And the commander's trying to fight off against them. And they
That goes for the other fella too. Like, if we have to kill him, we will, but let's try to
Please
avoid
don't
it.
kill me.
give me a female member of the gang. Give me a female name.
Catherine.
Catherine? You see Catherine there, who is a little bit of an older woman, but you've known her your whole life. Very prominent member of the gang.
Maybe her nickname would be like Cat
Yeah.
or something.
And you see Kat there, and she grabs this Stormglaive Parker.
Please don't kill me. I'll do whatever you want.
Oh, honey, I'm not gonna kill you. Don't you worry. We're gonna bring you back to camp. We're gonna feed you. You know, we're gonna take good care of you. Okay?
Oh, that sounds nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Just give me everything out of your fucking pocket. She puts her knife up against you and starts robbing you and just taking shit out of your pockets. He's got a nice blade.
Oh, no,
Grim.
not me blade.
Grim, he's got a nice blade. This thing's gonna be worth a lot.
Oh, no.
Take everything of value. Never said it wouldn't rob you blind.
Yeah.
We just won't kill you. You know the routine, Cat. Take it all.
Oh, thank you kindly, Grim. You hear him? He said take it all. Time to get naked, boy. She starts kicking you.
Don't take it all.
JD then runs up to you. Ben, here. And he tosses you a pair of keys. Commander had him.
Thank you kindly.
He also said there's another one coming up the road in about 10 minutes. We better clear out.
Roger that. Best hurry up and get a mosey on here. I'll go and unlock the cages
Yeah,
immediately.
you unlock the cage, and sure enough, you see several fugitives in there. They're wearing, they all have manacles around their arms and their feet. As each of them come out, you see a few other of your gang members come up and start unlocking or cutting their manacles so they can run away. And some of them are coming out and they're "Why'd you save me?"
So I'll basically say to everyone, like, you can either flee or you can join me. Either way. We got about 10 minutes till another patrol comes up, so I suggest we mosey.
All right, and you see several of them look at each other and then just scatter. And most of them are running away. One or two of them decide to stay, but most of the dozen are all gone. And then finally emerging, you see a face that you recognize. Benjamin Arthur Grimshaw. It's about time. Thought you was gonna let me hang. As Marion, your wonderful wife, or wife-to-be, steps out of the caravan. She holds up her manacles to you.
I'd unlock him. Oh, Mary, you know I'd never let that happen.
Yeah. And then as soon as she's unlocked, she slaps you across the face. It's been weeks, boy.
It wasn't easy finding you. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it was kind of my fault too, you know. I didn't realize King's Road is so well guarded nowadays.
Well, we kick up a fuss, people going to be chasing you.
Yeah. I should probably stop trying to go after those caravans. You know, this life we live, as you're unlocking her feet, she's like, this life we live is only temporary. Sorry, time is fleeting, and soon those who live like us won't be able to exist in civilized society, dear.
One day I'll get you that house with that picket fence like I promised. A little bit longer.
You promised me a nice, richly white house in the hills of Winter Crown, if I'm not mistaken. You know I love the snow.
Just gotta do a few more jobs, that's all.
And she smiles, and then she gives you a quick kiss on the cheek before she grabs your sword from you and steals it as she kisses you on the cheek. And it says, "Let's go!" And she starts running.
And then I'll follow.
Yeah. You see your gang sort of slaps the horses and lets them keep running, and then they throw the commander off into the woods. Kat is there, and she's looking at this soldier. Ben, can we keep him? I like him.
So Ben will go up and actually release his barnacles and let him go and say, well, you can join us or you can stay here, but I wouldn't recommend it because they're going to think you're a traitor. So I'd either move or come along.
Oh man. Well, I guess I could join you. Is that the accent? I don't even know.
You can do whatever you want.
You were like British before. you were like British. Who cares?
I guess I could join you. I guess I don't really have much of a choice, do I?
And then Kat smiles. She's like, "No, you don't, boy. Because if you don't join us, I guess I'm gonna have to take your undies too."
Oh,
that's all you're wearing at this point.
And I'm covering myself up, even though I'm very, very insecure.
Ben will just kind of walk and start running away at that point. Just like kind of slowly back up and just, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, JD shouts, "Stormglaives incoming! They're coming up the road!" Marion sticks her head out of the woods. Stop gallygagging, laggy-gagging. What's this word?
Lollygagging?
Lollygagging, thank you.
Stop googly-gaggling.
Stop googly-gaggling, lollygagging, let's go! And she starts running, and everybody starts running away from the road now. It's just the commander on the side of the road going, and then he spits out the cloth, and he's just like, "Damn you, Grim Reaper!" As you all run into the forest. Eventually, you make it back to camp. Everybody's laughing and cheering from the spoils that they've gotten, of the things that they were able to rob off of this caravan. Eventually, you all make it back to your encampment. It is in a mountain ridge, sort of between the two main roads that move up north into the Wendigo Wilderness. The afternoon sun is just setting on the horizon. You see the large bonfire in the middle of the camp. Okay, you see the large bonfire in the middle of the camp. People start cheering and celebrating as your gang returns safely back, and you just hear sort of in the distance, "Is that Ben? Yeah, Ben sprung Miriam. Oh shit. And then they all walk up and start giving her hugs. She's like, yeah, Ben sprung me again.
Seems to be a trend lately.
Well, somebody has to make sure that justice is served. Don't forget, anything we take from these kingsmen belongs to the people."
That's the life we live by anyway. The code.
Yes, the code. If Pops taught us anything, and then suddenly you hear a voice cut in, a deep voice of Pops, otherwise known as Arlo Kilgrave, the man that put this of no good thieves and scoundrels together to try to do some good in this world, the man who taught you the code. If Pops taught you anything, what, girl? You just hear, "Oh, Pops!" And Miriam walks up and gives him a big hug. He's a very tall man. He wears a cowboy hat. He is a black and brown duster with some with a red shirt and red suspenders, and he has two small crossbows on each side holstered, hand crossbows that he uses when he is in combat. You just hear, I'm Mary. And he gives her a slight little kiss on the cheek. She's like, Pops, you're gonna get you're eventually gonna get your man killed if you keep getting taken like that. I know. What are we gonna do with her, Ben?
We're just going to have to chain her up and hold her back ourselves, I guess. Stop her from causing all this trouble.
Yeah, Miriam just sort of hits you, and she's like, you better not, boy. You know I'll cut your throat in your sleep. Well, Grizzly and Fish are, they cooked some boar and some venison they caught tonight, so go enjoy that. And then she's like, and where's Will? She says to Ben.
Oh, I'm sure he's around here somewhat.
And you just hear,
someplace.
and then you just hear, Mom, as your young son starts running through the camp. Will, did Daddy spring you? Yeah, he always does. Oh, does that make you two even? She's like, not even close. She just embraces her son.
What perfect role models we are.
Yeah. Then Pops is like, Ben, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to have a quick conversation with you.
All right.
Yeah, if we
he'll
could just go over here.
kind of just motion like, you there. You take care of our new friend. I don't want to see him in his skivvies all day. And then referring to Parker's
Yeah,
character.
yeah. Miriam says, it's fine, we'll take care of him. You come with me. You come with me, boy. We'll get you something to wear.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm freezing here. I ain't got no clothes on.
Yeah. I think Ben's got some stuff that might fit you. Let's go. You just sort of go off with her. And Pop's like, Ben, come on here, boy.
He'll just go over
Yeah.
to see Pops.
Yeah, you two just go off to the side, and you see Pops take out a cigar. And he just sort of cuts the end. He's like, raids haven't been good lately. Not a lot of loot. Think the storm glaives are onto us. He hands you a cigar.
He'll take it. Start cutting at the end.
That's how you smoke a
Actually,
cigar.
he'll just kind of like bite the end off.
Yeah. You two just start slowly dragging back on the cigars. And he looks at the camp, and then he looks over, and he's just like, we're gonna have to move again soon. I think they're honing in on us. And you springing Miriam when I told you not to is not gonna help.
Oh, come on now, Pops. You knew that was going to happen.
Yes, but it has to happen when I say it happens. This is our way. You know that.
If we missed that opportunity, she'd be gone.
She wouldn't. You know I would never let her meet the noose. She was never gonna hang. She would have just been in prison for a few more weeks while we could gather up our belongings and get some loot before leaving here. But now they're gonna be on us within a few days.
It's a risk I couldn't take, Pops. You know that. Not with our reputation getting as big as it is.
Pops just sort of glares at you and then, Suppose so. Sometimes it feels like the way I taught you all is being forgotten, though.
Gotta adapt with the times. Otherwise, you get caught.
Yeah. Then you get old. Then you get fat. And then you get slow. And then you get dead. Well, listen, I'm gonna be taking Kat and JD out. we got some errands to run. So I need you to look after the camp, okay?
You got it.
Yeah. He's like, good. So, just, it's time to celebrate. I'll make sure if you are on guard, but, as long as you feel like you, got away from those storm glaives and nobody followed you, then shouldn't have any trouble this evening, but tomorrow we're all gonna have a nice long talk about making sure we follow the code and that you listen to me more.
Well, maybe it's time we updated the code.
Pops sort of gives you a glare. He's like, yeah, maybe it is. Anyways, he pats you on the back. Benny boy, go see your boy. Go see your wife.
All right.
Go enjoy the evening. I'll see you tomorrow. And then he just sort of throws his cigar down. He starts walking into the camp. This big burly man. And then he's just like, Cat, JD, you're with me.
Ben will just kind of like tip his hat and
Yeah.
walk away.
Roll a quick perception check.
All right.
As JD approaches with Pops's white stallion, knowingly, as if he knew he was ready to leave. 19. You'd notice that Cat and JD seem to have a lot of bags on their horses. More than what would normally be needed. It seems like they've packed up all their stuff. And then Pops
Like
gets
they're-
up onto his stallion. All right. Well, you.
A lot of
Yep.
baggage there for a little trip.
Cat just sort of smiles down at you, and she's like, "Oh, Ben, don't think anything of it. We're just, we're probably just going for a day or two, and then we'll be back. That's all." And JD's like, "Yeah, Ben, and just enjoy the night." Pops looks around. He's just like, "All right, JD and Cat and I, we'll be back. We should be back tomorrow. But if we're kept a few extra days, then just hold tight. We'll be back eventually." And then he nods. Ben.
Pops.
Yeah! And the three of them take off. You just take off into the night. The music is filling the air. The celebration, the drunks, the sounds of sex and celebration fill the air in some of the tents.
What kind of camp is this?
In some of the tents as you walk by, fornication, and yeah,
Fornication camp?
and eventually you make it back to Miriam and Will. And Miriam has dressed this Stormglaive. And what's your name?
My name's Reggie.
Well, Reggie, I think you're looking like a fine outlaw now.
They're a little bit big on me. He's a tall fella, but yeah, I think it'll work.
What do you think, Ben? We got a new outlaw here.
Not too shabby, not too shabby. We'll just have to show him the ropes.
I'm so happy he didn't cut your throat.
Go ahead.
Me too. I'm quite happy about it.
You know I only do that as a last resort. Unless I'm angry, of course. I wasn't angry today, though, so you're luck.
Well, we all have something to be thankful for then, I guess.
Yep, and then Miriam just sort of takes Reggie's hand and says, "Well, come on, Reggie. We gotta celebrate my spring from the from the Stormglaives. Let's go. And Will's like, yeah, let's go. And Reggie and Miriam go out to celebrate. And Ben, you're alone with Will for a moment.
And
He's like, oh, I'm tired. Oh.
I just kind of look down to him, like rub his head, and like, you know why I get so lucky on my jobs there, don't you?
Why?
And he'll take his hat off. This here hat is magical. It has a enchantment on it.
Magic?
Yeah.
No way.
So anyone wearing this hat here is protected from any danger. And I want you to have it. And he'll put it on his head.
And he puts it on. It doesn't fully fit his head, but it goes just above his, like, pretty much at his eyebrows. He's just like, I'm invincible! And he starts running around in circles. Yeah! Thanks, Pa.
Don't mention it. Why don't you go catch up to your mother there?
I will. Then Will runs out to go join the celebrations.
And I'll go to the celebrations for maybe like an hour or so, like have a drink or two with the
Yeah, and you do so.
the group.
You all have a real blast. This is just like old times. These are the best of times. This is a memory that you cherish very much, where you enjoy this celebration with music playing. Everybody's drunkenly singing together. Little Will tries a little bit of beer and then starts spitting it up. Your newcomer Reggie starts sort of getting into it, getting drunk a bit and dancing. And everybody's having a good time.
And then I imagine, like, as the party's going on, maybe someone comes up and kind of taps me on the shoulder, like, all right, it's your watch, or it's like something along those lines. And then he'll go, like, to the edge of camp and keep an eye out.
So you sort of sneak away from the rest of the party, Miriam and Will, and they don't seem to really notice that you've left. And it's completely nighttime now. The skies are so clear. The stars are just filling up the empty spaces as you go to the side of camp and sit down on, you just see like a barrel there, and you look up to the night sky. You look on the horizon. There's a cascade and flurry of cosmic colors swashing, like almost like a painting, as this far north you sort of get these shimmering lights from the stars. It's seen much more easily when you're up north here. And you just take a deep breath. Care if I join you? Miriam says, as she walks up holding a bottle of whiskey and shakes it.
Not at all.
She sneaks up beside you on the barrel, and she sits on your lap and just sort of lays against you as she takes a swig and then hands you the whiskey.
He'll also take a swig.
She looks up. What are you thinking about?
Just living in the moment. Thinking about how good life is right now.
You've been talking in your sleep lately. Been having some dreams?
What about?
Mostly you're screaming, or you're screaming out my name or Will's name. You worried about something?
Just a feeling.
I've been having strange dreams too. She looks out to the sky. You know, sometimes I dream of the ocean. At least what I think it looks like. You know, I've never actually seen it. The sea, the water. Yet I dream of it. How do you think you're able to dream about things you'd never seen before?
The mind is a powerful thing.
Well, I dream I'm in the waves, moving back and forth. My heart's racing. I'm so scared. But I'm also at peace. Like, all my worries, you, Will, Pops, everyone, none of it matters. I can't help or change it, just the ocean's in charge, and I'm powerless to stop it. Strange times.
It's just a dream. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Yeah. Everything's temporary, Ben, but I think if we hold on to our dreams, then maybe one day we can live that life, you know? Did you fart? Benjamin Arthur Grimshaw, did you just fart while you were holding me?
That's not me. You know it was me. You know that.
Ben, you also smell what smells like rot and sulfur. Like just rotten eggs, almost. Well, if that's not you, then what? Whoa, what in the heavens is that ghastly smell?
I smell it too. It's awful.
You look up to the night sky, and you would see that the moon has gone blood red.
It's not good.
The blood moon? But I've never seen it before.
Pops told me the blood moon wasn't for a few weeks yet.
Well, I guess he was wrong. Gosh, we better go get some crossbows, and just in case, I hear that some of the animals can go a bit crazy when suddenly there's this gust of just wind that moves through the encampment. All of the fires throughout the camp all go out. And this cascading shadow you see just looming in the distance, arcing, and seems to be some sort of dark energy just zapping like lightning, yellow lightning within, as this dark shadow slowly starts descending down the mountainside. What the fuck is that?
We gotta get the hell out of here. So I'll immediately start heading back to the camp, and
You start running in. Some people are looking uneasy. Most people are drunk, though. They're just like, what the fuck is going on here? And then you see Will there with Reggie. And Reggie just, like, brings Will up to you. Pa, what the hell's going on?
Reggie, look out for my boy. I gotta get the camp ready. Something's coming.
No problem. Yeah, I saw it coming down the mountain. Looks mighty frightening.
Marion walks up and she's like, Will, you're gonna stay with Reggie for now, okay? We'll come get you after, she says as she starts just getting ready, and she, sees a sword and gets a crossbow ready.
And I assume there'd be like some kind of like a alarm system or like a bell or something. I'd go up and like start ringing the bell, like so it's like.
Yeah, you start just ding, 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 and several people start coming up. Most of the encampment, though, unfortunately, is drunk, and many of them start just like lurching out. But what's going on? And Jackie, who helped you with the commander earlier, what the hell's going on? All the fire's gone out. It's dark in camp. And you see, and he has a torch with him. And he's trying to light the torch, but every time the flame goes on, it just dies out immediately.
Jackie, lock it down. Something's coming.
you'd all hear a rumble and a roar as suddenly what looks like a dark black cloud starts moving across the sky as if it's enveloping over your camp like a dome. The only thing that you can see through the dark black clouds with the yellow lightning is the circular red blood moon. Will do.
It's not scary at all.
And Miriam turns to you. Ben, no matter what happens, we have to get Will out of here.
You go to him. I'll take care of this thing.
Yeah, so you're now surrounded by about 24 of your fellow people. You hear screams from those who are not fighters as they're running into their tents, just hoping that it will protect them, as this dark storm seems to be brewing. And then you all ready your crossbows. Where do you go? To the edge of camp? Towards where the storm's coming from?
Yeah.
And you're all lined up there at the edge of the camp. And it's quiet. As the storm suddenly, as it's moving across the sky, just come down immediately. And then starts rolling. These clouds start rolling towards you. And then they stop about 20 feet from the camp. And now it's just like this wall of shadow.
I'd run to get my guns on the way to the edge of the camp.
Yeah, you go into this old box, you flip it open, and you take out these 2 old pistols that only have a few bullets. You've rarely ever fired them before, but...
And they wouldn't, I'm just going to point out, they wouldn't be silver rounds because I've never encountered anything.
No. So, and then you run quickly to the edge of camp. And you see Jackie there, and he's just sort of plugging his nose. He's like, and his eyes are watering. Everybody's eyes are watering just from the pure reeking stench that is coming from this cloud. It's just magic, man. I've never seen magic before.
I don't know what this is, but we gotta be ready for anything.
And there's this eerie silence. And then suddenly, you see beaming red eyes on your left. And then another pair on your right. And then another pair ahead of you. Until there's about 10 pairs of beaming red eyes coming from the shadowy wall. And then stepping forward are dire wolves that are cloaked in pure shadow. And their eyes are red like blood. They slowly start approaching, their teeth gnarling. Their growls sound almost enhanced by darkness, death. Ben, what do we do?
Wait until you get a clear shot. Aim for the head.
And you and these 20 other men and women are there with your crossbows, and some of them have swords. And then one of the wolves just slowly walks up, and it just... And then suddenly the wolf just leaps high up in the air and then lands down onto something. Everybody shoots their crossbows and starts trying to attack it. The bullets just fly into it. Its body moves back and forth, but then it lands on top of one of your comrades and then just starts ripping into them as the other wolves start scurrying towards you. What do you do?
I'll just start taking aim and firing at the nearest thing.
Yeah, you start firing. Suddenly it's just carnage. These wolves just start descending upon the camp. People are shooting their crossbows. They're trying to use swords to fight them. 2 of the wolves are actually taken out as they're stabbed enough and killed. One of them gets decapitated, but your men are falling like flies extremely quickly from this attack and all these wolves. And you start being pushed back as you're shooting and attacking them. One wolf then slowly starts running at you and leaps off of a tent and then attempts to bite at you. What do you do?
So I'll turn and attempt to shoot it in the head or something along those lines.
Yeah, I'll just say you shoot it in the side of its mouth, but then it still moves forward and it gets a small bite on your arm. You're in excruciating pain, but it's now like holding your arm like... What do you do?
Oh yeah, I'll drop my gun, I guess, and kind of like just start punching it in the head.
And it's eating your other arm. Suddenly you realize your arm blade is inside of its mouth.
So
The mechanical
twist my arm
sort of thing.
in a way to activate the blade.
Yeah, you activate the blade. And then the wolf just like sort of falls over. And you hear as the death of that one makes more of them start descending upon you. You just sort of pick up your gun, and all you start thinking about is, holy fuck, we're all gonna die. What do you do?
So basically, I'll have a gun in one hand and my injured like wrist blade hand.
Yeah.
And I'll go towards. I guess I'm gonna look for Will and Marion.
You start running through the camp. At this point, just through the fighting and everything, the encampment starts lighting on fire. But the fire is not this color. As it burns a very, very bright yellow. As if the flames are putrid, and they give off a horrible, disgusting smell. As if normal fire cannot exist here. Instead, it's this dark, deathly, sickly fire. And you start making your way through the camp towards where Miriam, Reggie, and Will are. And you'd see Reggie there ahead of you, and he slices into a wolf and kills it.
I got one. There's too many of them though. What are we gonna do?
Just do whatever you can. Just survive this. I don't know.
And Reggie is standing outside of your tent, where Miriam and Will are.
They're inside. Go to them. I'll protect the entrance.
And yeah. Thank you, Reggie. I appreciate this, man. He'll go inside.
Yeah, and when you go inside, you see Miriam is there, and she's just gathering up everything, throwing them into bags. And you see Will. He's just like, Mom, I'm scared. They're gonna get us. We just stay in here. And she's just like, Will, it's all gonna be fine. She's packing up everything, throwing it in. And then she just like zips up the bag and grabs his hand. Ben, we gotta go.
There's no time for any of that. We gotta go now. And they'll just kind of like grab their hand and like kind of like force them out of the tent.
Yep. And then as soon as you get out of the tent, Reggie's there as well.
Reggie, we gotta get the fuck out of here. We'll just look for an opening.
Yeah. And you see an opening and you start running towards it. Yeah.
Let's go. Hurry. Let's go.
And Reggie, you start cutting through. Reggie is a Stormglaive. Stormglaives are actually extremely skilled guardsmen and stuff. But he was disarmed with a blade. So he is able to kill a few of these wolves along the way. Along with you, even Miriam takes out her blade when one tries to go for Will, who's just screaming. He's like, ah! And then Miriam just like cuts into him. Get away from my boy! And then you're all just sort of fighting your way through the encampment at this point. Plumes of yellow smoke, flame, and then blackened smoke everywhere. And you all just want to vomit. Your eyes are stinging from the deathly smell and the aura of the area. And then you see Jackie ahead of you, and he's just sort of at between two tents, and he reaches out and he's just like, this way. And then as we're headed towards it, suddenly you just see a large clawed blackened arm reach up and crush Jackie. Jackie is crushed by a giant blackened claw of a huge creature. His body is crushed down on the ground. The claws seem to be coming down through the middle of his spine. So he's now on the ground, split in half, and he just goes and then spits up blood at you as then he's dragged out. And then you just see as he's being dragged into the shadow, his skin starts to melt until he's just screaming, and then he just becomes complete dust into a yellowed soul that then flies out and spins into the shadow.
Holy shit.
And ahead of you now is a huge wolf-type creature, bigger than all the others. Burning yellow eyes, teeth that drip with yellow putrid poison. Its claws seem to have energy that crackles around them as it steps forward. It's just like a huge wolf looking down upon you.
I'll just kind of like nudge everybody, like go, 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 go.
And then it just looks up, and it seems to be looking all around the camp and isn't looking directly at you. Miriam's looking around, and she sees some barrels off to the side. Come, Will, let's go. And she sort of runs over to the barrels and just hides behind them.
I am also going to try and hide.
Okay, roll stealth check. Reggie, what are you gonna do?
Reggie is too terrified to move. He's glued to the ground. He's just trembling and looking up, shaking.
The giant wolf then slowly opens up its mouth. And you'd see suddenly, as all around the encampment, any person who had died, it seems like their very souls are ripped out of their bodies into this yellowy, misty energy. You hear their wailing cries as they fly up into the air and fly into the mouth of this beast that just seems to be the embodiment of this shadowy presence. And then it looks down and looks down at you, Reggie. His huge snout as it sniffs you.
21 on my stealth.
Yeah, it's staring at Reggie right now. And you,
Reggie's just trembling like.
and then you hear.
And as soon as Reggie hears that, he's just gonna drop everything he's holding and run in the opposite direction.
Immediately runs after you, this large, grinning, teethy smile, and then it crushes a tent next to you. It crushes the ground next to you. Reggie, you flip and you fall and you tumble down to the ground, and then it's now lurching over you.
Pray to your God. Pray.
I pray to you.
And it looks up.
The tempest cannot hear
Tempest, protect me. Tempest.
And you just see him, he just grabs Reggie between his teeth and then starts moving back and forth. Reggie's body just starts tearing into pieces as he screams. He just dissolves slowly into this yellow energy that's just mauled into the mouth of this giant wolf.
Good luck.
I don't think this is going to end so well.
It turns and looks towards you, Ben. Ben, you seem to be the only one that's alive left in the camp. Well, except for Miriam and Will, who seem to have rolled a nat 20 on their stealth checks because they're not noticed just yet.
So I'm going to look over to Marion and say, try to run. I want to distract it. And then I'm gonna run at the beast and try and slice at it.
You start running, its gaze just sort of turns, the beaming yellow eyes glaring directly at you. It turns its whole body. You start running, and then it just lets out a loud roar. The sound waves themselves just knocking you back as you tumble back to the ground.
I'm just basically trying to give them time so that they can run away or
Miriam is starts running from the barrel she's at over to the side of a tent, still not seen. And they just start slowly creeping away, but she keeps looking back at you, and she's really unsure. And then suddenly your arm is ripped off as it bites deep into your arm and across your chest nowadays. And your gun and your arm just fly off to the side and tumble. And then it just bats at you with its claw. Your body broken starts rolling across the ground, smashing into what was a campfire before.
I'll still, while this is happening, I'll still look to make sure Marion is go.
And the wolf just slowly walks up towards you. And as it stares at you, and then its claw comes down and rips off your leg. It seems to sniff again, and then the wolf opens up its mouth, and you'd feel as if your very soul is about slowly trying to be ripped out of your body. But you think about Miriam, and you think about Will, and you're just able to hold on to that hope. And your soul's not absorbed.
He won't answer. He'll just kind of and smile to himself and just not even he's accepting his fate.
Yes. Attachment. You see him sniff. He looks over and he's now looking at Miriam and Will. Let us kill hope. Miriam takes out her sword as suddenly the wolf starts running towards her. No!
I'll, with my remaining arm, grab my pistol and take a shot at him.
Yeah. You take a shot. And into the side of its face. And you just see it just seems to pierce what looks like ethereal shadow, and there is now a hole in the side of his face that just slowly mends with the shadow again and heals. He looks back at you. And you see Miriam there, and she's shaking as she's holding Will. And then he goes,
and I'm gonna start crawling, like losing sight of what's going on, just trying to make my way there.
You start slowly crawling up. Fear. then he sniffs towards you as you're crawling. Hope ends. And then you just see him deep down turn and then start just mawing at them both. You don't see the bloodshed directly, but you hear their horrible screams. And then when the deed is done, he turns towards you.
You hold on. I have killed your hope. You will now die like them. Their souls consumed. They are one with me now.
Opens up his mouth as you see what looks like thousands and thousands of crying souls make up the inside of its mouth into its body.
You can die now and join them.
I'm not even interested in what he's saying. I'm looking for them. Or like I'm trying to get
This whole
to them
time while he's
regardless.
talking, you're just slowly crawling until you put a hand down on what feels like a hat.
And I'll grab that and clench it with like everything I have.
Yeah, and you hold on to that hat with everything you have.
Suffer then. Live on. Live on knowing your failure.
And then you feel excruciating pain as he rips into the back of your head and seems to rip down your back very, very slowly. You are mutilated. You look like nothing more than a torn apart a piece of meat at this point as you let out a horrible scream. You feel yourself floating in darkness, Ben. There's no light. And while you're floating in this darkness, you just sort of feel the waves. You feel like you're floating in the ocean. You don't have any care. You don't have any attachments. It's just the ocean. You're at the mercy of the ocean. You could just let go and just let the waves take you.
I'm gonna get out of the water.
So, as the waves are crashing and moving around you, you would suddenly get this feeling, this grit, this no. And you start fighting it and fighting it. And then you start trying to move your legs in the water and fighting against it till eventually you touch what seems like hard rock as your hand reaches forward. We're gonna cut to the camp now. The next day, several pillagers, traveling people looters who pick apart at camps that might have been attacked during the blood moon, are just sort of poking through your camp. There's about a dozen of them. These are just nomads who walk around. They're just scavenging. You're all dead. You won't need your things. The encampment is just simmering with smoke from whatever happened the night before. The dark shadow is gone. The wolf is gone. The bodies are being piled up into a pyre. And one person in particular walks forward. He's wearing ruby red goggles. His flesh seems mired and very grayish almost. And he wears a large trench coat with a sort of broken top hat on his head. And he's walking with what seems to be some sort of mechanical assistant that's shaped like a spider next to him. And as he's walking, he's just pointing at things, and he's running through, and then he hands it to his mechanical assistant, who grabs the items and puts them into a pail that's on the back. He's just taking things of value. And as he's going through one of these piles, suddenly a hand reaches out and grabs his wrist. And it's you. It'd be weird if it wasn't. It's Tyrannus.
Ben, help me.
How did I get here?
He seems a little bit startled at first. He's like, "Huh." And then he tries to pull away, but you yank on him again. He just pulls it out, and you half of your head is gone. Your skull is shattered on top. Your body is broken. There's just blood everywhere. You're completely pale and blue from bruising and just mutilation. And you're grabbing onto his arm.
I just I imagine pull him close. Pops, the blood moon. And then just kind of pass out. I guess because he's so really fucked up.
And this,
he feels like Pop set him up on the blood moon. Is more or less what he's saying.
Yeah. He looks down at you, just coldly. This figure, and then you sort of let go of your grip, and he looks around, and then he picks you up and throws you onto the back of this sort of mechanical spider that's walking around with him. And he proceeds forward. You return to that darkness, but then you wake up again. You're in some sort of lab. You have no idea how much time has passed. You're just in and out of it. Your eyes are blurry, and you're in just so much pain all throughout your body. And that figure who you grabbed onto before, is in front of you, and he seems to be at a work table, just using tinkerer's tools on some sort of object. And then he walks up to you. Now, this is gonna hurt, boy. And he's bringing an object up to your head. What do you do?
I wouldn't even fight it.
Yeah, and then something latches to the side of your head, and then you just go into excruciating pain.
At this point, he's barely clinging to life.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not in a good head state exactly. So
Yeah.
just fuck it, do it.
And you pass out again, and then there's another unknown length of time in between that and waking up again as he's standing in front of you on a chair, and you just slowly sort of wake up. You're not in as much pain as you were last time. You still have pain everywhere, but you just sort of wake up and you see this man sitting in front of you on a chair. Are you awake?
Where am I?
The robot assistant sort of walks up beside him and slowly starts to just poke and prod at the top of your head, and you just see things are being whirling gears and things are being zapped on top of your head. A little bit to the left. Suddenly your eyes, as it does that, your eyes become more clear and you're able to see more clearly. There we go. How many fingers am I holding up?
4?
Well, close enough.
I saw this many.
Boy, what is your name?
In Grimshaw. What's going on?
Well, Ben, there's no easy way to tell you this, but seems the Reaper took you and your friends. And you all were killed during the blood moon, probably by a pack of wolves or vampires or some other creature of the night. And you were, for all intents and purposes, dead. And you're the only survivor. Now, I was able to bring you back.
What do you mean, bring me back?
Well, just calm down. You start to get a little bit panicked now. It's okay. Now, just calm down. It's okay. Now, we'll get to that. There's something that you need to know. You've been here for a while now. This didn't come easy. Keeping you alive and getting the parts I needed to fix you up.
How long has it been?
He looks over. It's been 5 years.
Five years?
You start panicking, and then suddenly you hear something sparking at the top of your head, your body. You start noticing your more physical form. You realize you can't move your arms, you can't move your legs. And you sort of get angry a little bit for reasons you can't know.
I've been here for 5 years? And I'll just kind of shake and try to...
Calm down, boy. Calm down.
What are you doing to me? Let me go.
This is for the best, okay? These things, they take a while. This has only ever worked on one other person.
So I just kind of like look around, like doing exactly.
You're trying. You can only move your head so far back and forth. You can't really see what the hell's going on. He's like, hold on, calm down.
Why can't I move? Who are you?
My name is Jebediah Castwater. And I'm a no one. But you're gonna be someone, Benjamin Grimshaw. This is gonna be shocking, boy, and it's gonna be painful to see, but I think this is the first step to getting you in the direction you need to go. And he just presses a button, and you feel your body turn, and you turn towards a mirror. And what you see is just a piece of your face with your metal head, your torso, just hanging on what looks like wires coming out of the ceiling all over your body. And your one leg is there, and then your one arm is there, but most of your body is all hooked up to this giant weird machine that you've never seen before, and it looks horrific.
I imagine it's like a real like RoboCop moment. Like,
yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I picture, like RoboCop. Like,
So you turn and you see that, and Jebediah Castwater stands beside you as you look at yourself.
no. What have you done? No. No.
And then we cut back to the tent. As you're staring down at those scars in your hand, your metal hand starts shaking and zapping from your emotions. And you just sort of grab your hand. And then you look down at that syringe again. The glowing moon dust inside. You know the blood moon is coming. You know what you must do.
So almost with a sense of reassurance, I will kind of stern myself up and press the needle to my skin.
and you do so, and you just... And you feel pain, but you've felt pain before. You felt the worst pain anybody could ever feel. And the injection goes into your skin. Suddenly, it leaves these blackened marks that move. This is not how somebody normally would have this happen to them. Whatever you put into this concoction, it's never been tested before either. As these veins start growing around from where you injected it, the veins then start to glow and pulsate white like the moon. As they move up your body and then around your neck, and then you suddenly find it hard to breathe as your body starts to shake and move. You start grunting. You're in so much pain, and then your body starts to contort. The parts that are not metal anyways, as your nails on your hand start to grow into claws. Fur starts growing up your arm and on your body as your neck cracks and elongates as a snout starts to grow. You knock over one of the candles and it just smashes on the ground, and there's just darkness in your tent. And as you're transforming, those manacles that are on your arm, one of them clenches down and a magnet activates, and your one arm flies against your table to try to keep you there. The other one malfunctions because you only rolled a 9, and the manacle falls off. And then as you're transforming, your eyes start to slowly turn red, and then you're able to just break the other manacle with your claws. As suddenly you step out of your tent and you let out a mighty howl to the moon. All right, I want to thank everybody for listening to this episode. Don't forget to follow us on everything at Stubborn Heroes, and don't forget to go to stubbornheroes.com for everything. And so that was the part 1 of the origins for Benjamin Grimshaw. And until next time, bye.
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 Okay.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon. Won't stop fighting to the very end. Many men try to reach it, many men have failed. Well, if you wanna get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. Will you find me? Hope you find me. I'll be back home soon. When the sun rises.